What's going on, Paisanos? V here, coming at you, well, with a little market wash today. Yeah, I know normally I do a market wash and then like a month later you get another one, but I kind of wanted to, was in the mood to do another market watch. I kind of want to do them back to daily, but we'll see what we get here. Now, before I begin with the market watch, I just want to say I'm really excited to not only be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Nationals this year, hopefully, but Pokemon Nationals as well. Pokemon Nationals happens a week before Yu-Gi-Oh! Nationals, but I have to respect Pokemon's COVID-19 protocols. Let's see what they are. Oh, that's weird. Seems like they don't have any. Anyway, onto the market watch. Triple Tactics Thrust out of Photon Hypernova has been going down in value. Now, this card obviously is an MVP for a lot of players and using a lot of decks. And this card right now is roughly around $65. I think Triple Tactics Thrust is a phenomenal card still. And don't get me wrong, it's cheaper, which I think is better for every player. But the card, in my opinion, is going to rise in value the minute we get the next core set. I think Triple Tactics Thrust is a really hard card for Konami to even come, like everyone always goes, V, what's a card that's decent, that's almost like Triple Tactics Thrust? And the only card I would say is Talents, but Thrust can search Talents. See what I'm going with? And Thrust can search a lot of other things, like, you know, like D-Barrier and Evenly Matched, depending on your game state. Thrust is a really hard card to be replicated, but still a great card overall. And it is relatively inexpensive, and maybe if you're lucky, it might even go down more in value. I do think this is a great card, and a lot of you players are going to be wanting it, and even post Yu-Gi-Oh! Nationals, due to the fact that it came out on Photon Hypernova, there's a good chance it's not going to be getting a reprint. Keep an eye out for it. Gravekeeper's Inscription is a card nobody really likes, and don't get me wrong, the meta doesn't really call for it right now, but I do think this card is dirt cheap. It had a pre-sale price of roughly around $31. The current value is barely holding on to $5 for this card. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't own a place of this card at the moment, but it's a card I'm definitely considering picking up myself. I think it's a great card, and I do think there is a meta. There is a time where this card might see play. It's not now, but it's always a card you always got to think about. It does 3 things with 1 card, and normally those are good cards, despite the fact that it's seeing no play right now. So, I was informed that Interior Barking is rising in value. If you look at the Secret Rare, it's $18. If you look at Electric Collection, it's $13. If you look at the Dual Terminal 3, it's $45. And then you got the Hidden Arsenal version, copy 1 is Ultra Rare, and that version is $1.50. Now, normally I always say get the highest rarity, and I always want to emphasize that in almost every one of my videos. I always go get the highest rarity. But in this case, that's kind of undervalued. Looking over at the Ghost Rare version, it's roughly around $19, even though it says it's not. But, you know, it says it's $8, but it's not. But looking at Interior Barking, if you are looking to get this card, Ultra Rare at $1. It's even cheaper than the Gold Rare. The Gold Rare has cheeks. It's crazy. Okay. I also want Card Trooper, and I always say, hey, everybody, listen, I think Card Trooper is a great card. I think Card Trooper is a card that, if you're looking to play in kind of Edison format, you might need. Does see some play in older formats, and older formats are starting to become more and more popular. Hopefully, Konami releases a new player for Edison format, because I do think that format is popular. I think Konami will release more playmats, and maybe even give more consideration with reprints like we saw right here with Card Trooper. But nonetheless, this is the highest rarity version of Card Trooper. After this comes the Ultra Rare that came out of original print. The value of this card is roughly around $40, $50 originally, and now it's dropped down to its current price point, roughly around $31. You only need realistically 1 of these cards, but I don't know. It looks really good if you want to get a max rarity older deck. We also have Bestial Lubellion, so we know there's going to be a bunch of reprints coming up soon. Unfortunately, that might not happen at Nationals. In fact, it's not going to happen at Nationals. But post-Nationals, we will be getting reprints, and I'm almost positive one of the reprints we're going to be getting is Bestial Lubellion. This card right over here's value is currently roughly around $65 with shipping. And to be honest with you, it might go up before it goes down. I know I just said it's getting a reprint, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Players going to Yu-Gi-Oh! Nationals, especially with the new Bestial support coming out, brand support, might actually consider playing Bestials with their branded deck. Once again, I'm not talking about a monumental spike. It might not hit $100 again, but I do think it's going to go up in value. I also think we're going to be getting a ban list, and if we do, and everything else that branded gets hit on that ban list, well, I think branded should get a hit, but that's for another video. But if everything except branded does get hit, I do think Bestials will rise in value. You know, once again, look at those previous YCS. The decks that normally would lose to Bestials, they were doing good. Up until Yu-Gi-Oh! Players realize, hey, I just got to put Bestials back in, and then you don't do good anymore. I'm looking at you, MathMex. Then we have Blazing Cartesia the Virtuous. Now, this is a staple. Some players are even wanting to play 2 of this card in their deck. The price of this card has risen pretty crazily. It's roughly, at one point it was $22, $23, and now we're seeing it hit near $47 with shipping for Blazing Cartesia. Is it worth it to have this card? Is it worth it in value? I don't know. I'm hopefully we get a reprint of this card as well. Hopefully a Prismatic Secret reprint would be really cool. But I will say, Secret Red Blazing Artisans, do you sell it? In my opinion, if you have more than one copy of this card, you should unload it. If you're looking to play branded, you need this card. We also have another card called XYZ Encore. Now, this card has two printings, one at JOTL, just one of the light, as well as its other reprinted version that came out roughly almost 9 years ago, the reprinted version of XYZ Encore, XZ Encore. Now, both versions are roughly around $7 to $8. I'm not going to bore you look at the prices, but they are roughly around $7 to $8. This card does see play in the OCG. Now, here's the question. Do you own this card? I don't even think you need to own 3 of it, but hey, if you want to be safe, you might want to consider picking it up. Once again, this card's old. It's super out of date. There's no other reprintings, and this card is good against certain decks, like the Pyroles. Now, you might go, V, Pyroles, nobody's playing them right now, but like I said in my last video, there is a good chance we might see Pyroles at Nationals, and with new support, they actually might be a real threat. One of the best cards to stop them is going to be XZ Encore. So, once again, like I said, do you have yours? We also have, well, sprites. Now, sprites are hit or miss. There's some metas, some events where they have a nice dominance, and other events, they don't. Nobody even sees them. They're a ghost-type Pokemon. But looking at cards like Sprite Starter, Gigantic Sprite, they are slowly kind of rising in value. With, well, Elk being taken out the equation, cards like Sprite Starter and Gigantic Sprite Starter just slowly rise in value ultimately. But realistically, I think sprites are just a good deck core to hold on to. Once again, there's a lot of cards that Konami needs to hit in order for sprites to be a memory, and I don't think it's going to happen. I always think there's a good chance sprites might just get phased out of the meta, but there's always times when they might come back in. There's certain decks that do that. I always talk about, like, Atlantean Mermails, how certain metas, they just come out of nowhere and smoke everybody, because everyone still figure out what they want to do, and you have a set way of playing your deck, and that can benefit you. So maybe that might work with Gigantic Sprite and Sprite Starter, but, comment down below, let me know. Why is everyone holding on to Visa Starfrost, by the way? This card should be the quickest sell of your life. $20 for a card that you're not using right now. How many do you have? 3? That's $60 staying in your binder of cards that you're not using. Have you ever thought about that? Like, do you even think about using this card? Is it worth it? No. This is the fastest sell, easiest sell in my entire life. And if I was you, I would unload it quickly. Another card is Illusion of Chaos. This card coming out of Battle of Chaos, which more likely is going to be getting a reprint. The price has been rising. Its lowest price was roughly around $30 roughly. Its current price is roughly around $46, almost $46 for this card. It's just not worth it. Sell this card as fast as possible. Don't get me wrong, it's a great card, but it's gonna get a reprint. Unload it. Thunderies and Snow Starlight Rare at one point in this game was dirt cheap. I mean, can we go 6 months ago? Can we get, like, it was, the lowest was like $55. Looking at it right now, the current price of this card is roughly around $94. Now, do you buy this? Well, here's my question. Do you play Flunderies? And if you do, well, why not? I guess so, sure. This card actually does see play in Flunderies. I mean, they don't have barrier statues, so they use Snow. It's not the same in comparison, but hey, it's a replacement. And Flunderies and Snow is starting to see more play in Flunderies. A lot of players are choosing to use this card. This card, I'm not going to go into the entire tech, but the Starlight Rare value has increased substantially. Now, this card, I believe, came out as a Secret Rare as well in Burst of Destiny, so there's a good chance it's going to get a reprint. But the original Secret Rare is 87 cents as well, in case you want to get it right now. It's not going to really break the bank. Another card is Vanity's Ruler. Now, this card is only for Drivetron players. The current value of this card is weird because it's roughly around 55. Then it hits 61, and then the next sale it's 72, and then 2 more sales it hits around 90s. So it's really hard to put a price on Vanity's Ruler, though I do think this card is definitely worth the money, just because it's a really good card, really simple effect, and that effect says your opponent can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Period. Well, I mean, unless they have like Imperium or whatever. All right. Swap Frog was definitely heavily used, and technically still is, in Sprite decks. Though I feel like Sprite players are slowly pulling away from that, some Sprite players are still using Swap Frog. I think there's going to be a time where Sprites are just going to be a memory. They're not going to see as much play. I think they'll come and go, and I do think that cards like Swap Frog will go down even further in value. As you can see over here, this is 3 months, 6 months. I mean, even in the past month, it has went down a bit in value. The current value of this card is roughly around $132. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because still a good ultimate rare to buy. Do you buy it now? I don't know about that. I do think this card price will hit around $100 soon. And then I think it's a good time to buy it. If you have $300 burning a hole in your pocket, of course. Listen, I think Atlantean Mermails take good value in using Ultimate Rare Swap Frog. Especially if you have Max Rare Atlantean Mermails, why not? Once again, I'm not talking about decks you play all the time. These decks you bring out, you play for a while, you have some fun, and you put them back away. And if you have a deck Max Rare that you do that with, it just makes it more fun, in my opinion. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Zodiac Borbo is a card you might want to consider picking up if you're looking to play Vanquished Souls. In the OTG, and I'll show you a profile in a second, they actually run a Zoo engine in their deck. Zodiac Borbo right now, super rare at a OTS 20 pack 15 is roughly around $1. That's it, $1 for this card, super rare. Looking at the other versions, it has a rare and another rare, and that's basically it. So, do you own yours? Do you have your playset? Same with Zodiac Chakanine, by the way. Zodiac Chakanine is ultra rare at a maximum crisis. The value of this card is roughly around $2. Ooh, that's Italian. Hold on. Let's see what Italians look like. Not bad, not bad. Anyway, you can get this card for nothing. It's dirt right now. But if Vanquished Souls sees play, this deck and these cards might see play, which obviously make them rise in value. Now, I don't know about Vanquished Souls. I'm not sure if they're going to be good or not good. Myself personally, I'm all on the Shiba branded, but I am looking around at other decks and I want to know what they do so I can like play against them better and more efficiently. And looking at Vanquished Souls, well, they recently just won Malaysian New Year's Carnival event. Now, it's a small tournament, had 22 participants, but they did come in first place. They also want a playmat featuring Zodiac Tagamorto and Bunny Blast, which I think is really cool because the guy actually ran Zoo in his extra deck. Once again, I really don't know much about Vanquished Souls, but if they're running Zoo cards in them, I might give them a whirl. No one's ever said that we're in a while. I don't know. It's an old school word, but I still like it. Okay. Anyway, looking at this, I do think Vanquished Souls is definitely a deck that YuGiOh plays. At the very least, you need to know what it does. Is it going to be meta? Don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. You know, one thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the playmats. In fact, this game's best prize support, its only prize support, is realistically playmats. I think we're all excited getting Nintendo Switches, and it's cool that Konami's handing out some new type of prize support, Steam decks, but everyone wishes they had cash money, let's be honest. And when you go to Yu-Gi-Oh! Events, and you see them having certain playmat tournaments, you go, how much is that mat worth on eBay? And it makes perfect sense because you're going to more than likely sell the mat, more than likely. So you want mats to have good value. Not going to here to do a huge mat market watch. Certain mats Yu-Gi-Oh! Play is going to keep. Like myself personally, there are certain mats that I will keep no matter what happens. If I quit Yu-Gi-Oh! Tomorrow, I'm not getting rid of certain mats. Like I really like the mats, the back two dual mats, like the Evil Twin ones. I have all three of them. I'm not getting rid of those mats. They're gorgeous. I love them. I like the artwork. I like the colors. They look great. I play them in Yu-Gi-Oh! And in Pokemon, by the way. But there are certain mats that I really like to sell. Like this one. Let me know if you have this one, by the way, because this mat costs around, I believe, like 30-40 bucks. And this mat's going for roughly around 180 on TCG Player. Now, this guy's unverified. The verified guy has almost $200 for this playmat, the SCCC 2020. I bought this one online, and I believe there's a way you can buy it online. Anyway, there are a lot of great mats in this game, and I really want to know, you comment down below, what's your favorite Konami mat? My favorite Konami mat of all time is probably going to be the UDS Cloth Exodia mat. I love that mat. I actually own it. But there are a lot of great, like, regular, I call them neoprene, because that's the material. It's like the rubber, like your mouse pad. Mats that you have probably, and some of these mats are worth a lot of money, and you probably just have them hanging to the side. You probably don't even realize that you have money in mats just doing nothing. And if you do, well, you might want to consider selling them, because do you really need a Yu-Gi-Oh! Day Dragon Maid mousepad mat? No? Cool. It's $200. Go get your money. And then we have Max C. And I'm going to end this market watch with the best card of all time because there's a chance it can come off the ban list. Now, I don't know if it can or can't. And I know a lot of people still have PTSD Max C, but this is still a great card. And I know a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are like, V, come on, man. It's not going to come off the ban list. Hold on one second. So, turn 1, I went 50 summons. Fair. It's fair, right? Honorable, fair, Yu-Gi-Oh! Fuck out of here. Like, this card is the only card to mitigate that bullshit. And I do think in time it's going to happen. In time, Maxi will eventually make its way to the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. You can go, well, people in the OCG, I have a friend in the OCG, by the way. My dad works at Konami. People in the OCG, they don't like Maxi. Cool. But it's been there for years. And more than likely, it's going to make its way over here in the TCG. So the question is not really whether you like it or not, or they like it or not. Your dad works at Konami or not. I don't care about any of that crap. The question is, are you ready? Now, once again, I do think if Konami reveals Max C to come off the ban list, they're more than likely going to have a reprint set to get players more acquainted with getting a cheaper version of Max C. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a CR Max C. And then a regular rare Max C. That'd be kind of cool. A nice way to introduce the card back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Players so you can easily get the card. That's why, when I asked me, V, should I get Max C? Well, to be honest with you, it's not an easy question because I don't think you should get a common Maxi for $13 or a super Maxi for $13. You're going to have regular red Maxi at 13 cents. Secret Rare Max Cs, probably. It's not bad. Ultra Max Cs, I'd rather lean towards Secret Rare Max Cs. Ultra Rare Max Cs, at one point in this game, was roughly around $200. I actually went and bought a playset of this card, and the current value of this card is roughly around $485. Now, I'm not saying to buy 3 of these, but I do own 3 of these, and they look hella nice. And if you'd own them too, you'd be agreeing with me. This card looks gorgeous. And once again, like I said, I don't think it's worth this crazy high price point. I do think it's going to be going down in time. In fact, I'm telling you right now, I might use it for a little bit and eventually sell my Max Cs when it comes off the ban list. And I do think it's only a matter of time at this point. I don't know when, but I do think it's going to be happening eventually. And you can say that about any Yu-Gi-Oh card, but Max C is unique, specifically because Yu-Gi-Oh players love their hand traps, and this hand trap is probably the best one ever printed that we currently cannot use. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. It's your boy V, and you guys have a great day.